Hello, welcome back to Greenhill Junction. It's been a while. Um, Basically, just completely lost my mojo with the railway. I wasn't even running trains. Um, Probably, well, the reason is because this corner here, I was trying to figure something out for it. I was basically trying to do something quite fancy, which just wasn't fitting in, wasn't working. I was getting frustrated, and yeah, pretty much gave up. So the only thing I've managed to do since the last video, which was probably about at least 6 months, if not a year ago, is ballast the tracks in preparation for any work that's going on here. That in turn led to an electrical problem over on these points on the top level. They were sparking away and I was really concerned about fire. So I gave it all a good clean and it seems to have stopped. I don't know really what was causing it, but it seems to have stopped sparking, which is a good thing. The other thing I was trying to do was get the back scene boards on to complete the back scenes round the railway, and that's been a complete nightmare as well because over here I seem to have cut whoops, that one squint, which means there's a gap, and the one on the other side at the points I just couldn't get to actually go on square to the tables. Um, so yeah, I essentially gave up is where I've been. But I'm back, and as you can see, there's a bit of building work going on the side there. And so, whilst I've not got the back scenes up, I'm going to just try and work on the front a little bit. The original plan was to just fill in this area, but then I realised that to fill in this, I need to know what's going on over here. So I started with the bridge tunnel type thing. Um, and I mean, things are just complicated here because you've got a curve and you've got a curve, and then it gets really tight. The tracks going under get really tight to this under there. So, not entirely sure what's going to happen over here, but as it stands right now, I eventually figured out what size of bridge side I need. So, that is going to sit across there like that. And there'll be another very similar construction going in there as a support. There'll be a lot of filling in required here, fill that in somehow. And once I get that side in, I can then start planning some sort of embankment type thing to fill in that bit. But I mean, this is all just scratch built. It's just, what do you call it? Grey board. It's brilliant stuff to work with. 2 sheets of it, PVA glued together, and then wrapped in the Metcalf brick paper. That bit's not complete because, well, it's going to get covered up by whatever embankment's coming down. And to get it the angle, I just used sandpaper to sand the card. So it all sits an angle, and then it'll get capped off with the Metcalf paving stones, which are also very good capping stones. As I kick the camera. So that's gonna sit there, and then again there'll be an embankment coming down. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to just continue to run a wall along there because that's quite a steep embankment, so I might just need something to stop it. But yeah, the plan with this video is to at least get something going on and hopefully get this front area done. So this bridge, fill this area in and maybe start working that away a little bit. We'll see how we get on, and it can only look better than it is right now. So back in a bit. Hey, welcome back. That's the front section pretty much done and where I want it to be. I've not stuck it down yet, but that looks quite effective with that bowstring facing on it. And from whatever angle you look at it, I think that's going to look quite good seeing the trains coming through. The unbrick papered stuff is just me thinking about running a wall along here, and then it'll eventually go into the big Metcalf walling, you know, the one with the double arch thing. I can't remember what it's called because there's not a lot of room between the upper section and those sidings. You see I've just slapped on the brown poster paint to give a base before I start doing the excuse me, the scenery. The one thing I've got there now is what to do at the back. So if I take you in a bit closer, so particularly for this angle, you can see that the two archways are not at the same angle. They just can't be because of what I've built already. And that where that one is placed, I'm gonna have to cut out a bit of the upper section to get that in, and that pillar is as far over that away as it can be, and then I'm going to cowboy a pillar in there because it's so tight, and I'll have a little bit more room because I'll be cutting away some of this wood. It's a shame that my tracks aren't running, you know, like straight through there, because to have that again on the other side would look really good, but clearly I can't, ran out of room. So they're curving round. So my current conundrum is, do I do that and it, you know, when you look at it from here, it actually looks okay, or do I just take that away and have some sort of, you know, scenic hillside like I've got over there? The issue is then, well, would you really just have the one bowstring for what would become a tunnel and then just have a bridge there? Sorry, just have scenery, like, you know, a hillside built up there. I don't think you would have that bowstring if it was just a tunnel entrance. So yeah, because there's going to be cutting involved here, I'm going to have to figure out what I'm wanting to do, and I'll need to fill in this gap as well. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a template of that with a bit of paper, that gap, cut a bit of card, stick it to the bottom of the bowstring, stick it to the baseboard, and then by the time I've seen it all, you'll never notice. Oops. The pillars themselves are just built up layers of the 3mm paper board, whatever you call it. The name has completely escaped me. Grey board. What I've done is created a small gap there. So there's two bits. There's two bits forming that. There's two bits forming that, and the internal bit of this smaller pillar is only as tall as the baseboard. I still need to cut that, and I've wrapped it in brick paper, and I still need to cut that wee bit away. The idea being, if I show you this, that the laser cut arch just sits in there and it actually forms quite a secure structure. So it meant that I've been able to place this where I want it to be without sticking it down, and then work on other things like the walls. You can see I'm still working on that wall and where this goes. But yeah, I'm liking that so far. So yeah, I'll definitely be cracking on with this front section, getting a fair bit of this done, and in the meantime be thinking about what's going on over there. Might leave that because obviously once it's cut, and if I don't like what I've done, then I've kind of messed it all up. So see how we get along, basically. Alright, another wee step forward, moving on to the landscaping. As usual, I'm doing it as cheap and cheerful as I can. So instead of using chicken wire this time, which I've used for bigger areas like that hillside, I'm going back to the old paper strip method, and maybe I get a bit of grey board, because this would be more man-made between the lines. So it's going to be basically smoother slope or straighter slope, if that makes sense. So nothing more complicated than getting some strips of cardboard, bending the wee tab at the bottom, just like that one didn't work out. Going them down, and then at the top just creasing it, cutting it, sticking it, and you get a real rough and ready embankment, and that'll get all paper mache to fill it all in. I think I'm going to have to use newspaper here just to fill that gap, because it's a kind of awkward area to do with the strips, so I might just build it up with newspaper and then paper mache over it. Extended the wall like I said I was going to, and that will continue up to around the booty there, but I need to get more ballasting done. That'll be sometime in the future. So the wall ends there right now. Again, there'll be a very linear slope. Not even sure that's the right phrase either. There, however, I'm having a few issues, and basically I've not left myself a very big lip there to stick stuff to, so stuff wasn't sticking that well. So I'm thinking of just cutting a strip of grey board, the height of that, and just having it like stuck in there exactly like that. And then probably wouldn't need to paper mache that, just paint it and do all the scenic stuff. It's quite a steep slope though, so I mean, I suppose there's the option of actually cutting it, bringing it out, doing the scenic stuff, putting it back in, as in the scenic base layers rather than the bushes and all that, and then the plan is to fill this gap in with loads of bushes and have it quite overgrown. And again, that bit's quite awkward, so maybe some newspaper will go in there. A quality piece of either, well, you can call it cowboying or ingenuity, either way. To fill in this gap, all I did was take a scrap bit of grey board, placed it against the bottom of the girder. Oops, sorry, camera works rubbish here. And then got a pencil, and I managed to get a pencil underneath and just followed the line of the upper board. And then I added on 3mm because I had to, the grey board was originally sitting against that and against that, and then there's a 3mm drop into the actual girder. So I added on 3mm, placed that again. It was pretty good. A wee bit of sanding, a wee bit of cutting up here, cut the checks out, and it pretty much fits. Fits as I need it to. It'll get stuck to there and the bottom of that girder. In fact, that's almost just dropped into place. Oops. Oops. It'll get glued, and then a little bit of like filler around there, painted brown. I think that'll be pretty well hidden. So I think the plan for this video is to get girder painted, get that bit of card in there to cover that gap, embankment done, basic scenery, or basic scenics as in ground scenics, and then leave it at that, because then I don't want to put too much here, and then I'm going to have to lean over the back to work on the back, and this will all get damaged. So yeah, it's coming on quite well, I think. Guess we'll come back once it looks a bit more scenic. Okay, another step along. Thought I'd just show you this before I paper mache it all, so you see the sort of base construction kind of thing. So change plan again, just went with the thin papery card, just this stuff, rather than the grey board, because the grey board was just too thick and it wasn't going to work out. So basically filled in the gap with big bits, and this is all just scrappy bits, and it just needs trimmed along there, and then it'll get tidied up with some paper mache. Bridges came out really well. This is now all glued in place. I've just got a thing for like red and black right now. I think it's a really good contrast, so it went crimson and black. It's all glued in, and the extra bit is all glued in there as well. And let's say I'll probably just fill that and maybe just paper mache over that bit to tidy it up as well. And got the sort of base in for the embankment on that side. Again, paper mache it all, tidy it all up. Not put anything in here because I don't think there would be anything built up against that. This is just a gap from the way the construction's worked out. So yeah, I'll probably just kind of grass that or scrub land it or something like that. Up the back, starting to get ideas about doing the industrial zone. Wishing I hadn't been so hasty and cut out that corner when I made the upper level, because actually I need that corner. So I think at some point I'm going to need to fill in that corner again, but that's down the line. But yeah, so it's all going well here. Get this paper mache, get it painted, and then get some basic scenery on, and that pretty much should be it. Okay, welcome back. Another couple of steps done. Just thought I'd show you this before I do the last couple of things. So the paper mache went on, no problem, dried pretty quick because, well, it's the winter and the heating's on in the house. So yeah, that went well. And then all I did after that was cover it in PVA and then do the base coverings. So it's fine woodland scenic, I think it is, fine turf soil, fine turf earth and coarse turf just sprinkled on randomly, to be quite honest, to create that sort of undercoat kind of covering. And I've done the sort of extra space up there as well, although I need to do a bit more than that because it's not kind of flowing in there, so I just need to probably put a little bit more down, and just filled in the gaps along the side of the rails. This bit up here is looking quite good. You can't even tell that it's a cowboy job now, really. All I did was, again, loads of glue, put the gravel down and just a bit of coarse turf just to make it look like all I've done is just kind of filled in the area with ballast when they built the railway, and then the grass is sort of taken over or beginning to take over because no one's ever on that bit. So it all looks quite nicely filled in now. Not done anything through here because, well, this wall's actually just sitting in place. This is stage 2 when I'm starting to go through the back there, so not done anything there. So final bits is get some static grass on. I'll probably do some bushes as well because they shouldn't get too in the way when I'm stretching over to the back to do stuff, and get the capping stones on the walls, and then that should be this little scene done. But yeah, it's coming on really good. I've ran a few trains through the sort of tunnely bit, and it looks really good watching them coming in and out of there. So yeah, next video should be not the finished thing, but as far as I'm going to take it right now. So it's all going good. So back in a bit. Okay, welcome back. Right, that's the scenery done as far as I want to do it on this bit, and we'll make this the end of this video. If you can hear whistling outside, that's because we're in the throes of Storm Aowen, I think it's called, and where I am in Scotland is getting absolutely battered right now. But hey, it's a good day to stay indoors and do the railway. So just take you in, and from what you've seen the last time, I have just created my own bushes along there using, I've got some, I don't know what it is, I picked up at a garden centre, but it's essentially like dried clumps of twig or like fern or something like that, and I just spray it with hairspray and then scatter on the coarse turf, and it makes pretty decent bushes. This was really quite steep, so I couldn't really get anything on there, so again, a good coat in hairspray, and then just put the coarse turf on and then hairspray it again to seal it in. In my opinion, there's absolutely zero need to get these expensive scenic cements. Get cheap, nasty, maximum hold hairspray, and it does exactly the same thing, and that's what I've used all around this way to stick stuff down. And talking to someone the other day, I think I might have been building this for 6 years and nothing's came unstuck. So yeah, get hairspray. It's about £2 for a massive bottle. Just stuck some scatters and bushes in there using the PVA, and you can see all the capping stones are on. That's just Metcalf paving. This side I thought it would look quite good, particularly for some running shots, if I built the bushes up quite high and built the separation between the lines. So that's what I've done there. Again, just exactly the same thing. This is a kind of like foamy stuff that I got from a garden centre, and exactly the same process. Spray it with hairspray, cover it in the coarse turf, spray it with hairspray again and stick it all on and stick it down. And I've done this up here as well. And then to once again cowboy the gap I had there, I've just put in more of that. You can see the ferny stuff, and I actually put that in place, then sprayed it and then sprinkled it with coarse turf just to give it a slightly different look, and filled in that gap with coarse turf because again it was that way. It was a bit of a slope, so couldn't really figure out what to do, but I mean that's quite a nice shot there as well. So yeah, that's it done. Quite glad to be back working on the railway. I've had a lot of enjoyment doing this bit, and we'll just progress this scene, whether I get the backboards on and start working at the back, or if I just continue along there just now and kind of work along the back of the sidings, covering that gap between the sidings and the upper level. But yeah, we'll get some running shots going on. But thanks very much for watching. Thanks for sticking by me while I've been absent. But yeah, this has really got me back into the rail. We really enjoyed doing this. And I've serviced and cleaned all my locos as well because they were incredibly dusty. So everything apart from the Rogues Gallery over there in the corner are working. Them two need a bit of repair to get them working again. But yeah, so thanks for watching. Leave any comments you have. Like and subscribe or like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back hopefully a lot sooner than I was between the last two videos with some more building on the way out. Cheers, bye.